Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for today's a month of service presentation of our Money, Health, and Wealth financial capability. Today's segment is budgeting, getting control of your living beyond your paycheck. My name is Nia Murray. I'm the programs coordinator with Neighborhood Recovery, and we are one of the partners in the month of service collaboration. Also joining us today is Ms. Myra Hippolyte with the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods. And our sponsoring presenter today, who's been with us for quite some time, is Ms. Monet Cheney with Family Houston. Included in the partnership is also Lone Star Legal Aid, Earl Carl Institute, the Houston Bar Association, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, Harris County Tax Assessors, Harris County Appraisal District, and collectively we make up the A Month of Service collaboration. And Month of Service is basically a collaboration of these 8 different organizations that get together on a monthly basis that offer workshops or presentations and resources about anything related to asset building, asset protection, community empowerment, and maintaining of generational wealth. So included in that series is our Money, Health, and Wealth financial capabilities segment. So in this segment, we also cover basically understanding your relationship with money, maintaining relationships with money, budgeting. We talk about credit, any type of financial goals and planning, for like unexpected events and having the budget and finances set aside for unexpected events. So anything that we feel that we can get you financially prepared for, we're here to offer it for you. In addition to that, Family Services offers one-on-one financial coaching. So if you are interested after this segment in reaching out to reserve or to make your appointment with Ms. Monet, we definitely encourage you to do so. We are recording and this segment is being broadcast on our social media platform. So we do encourage you guys to be as interactive as you'd like to be and ask whatever questions that you like. But do keep in mind that we are being recorded. So we ask that you keep your questions to be kind of as general as possible without going into a whole lot of personal details, and then ask you to reach out to Ms. Monet for more detailed or specific questions or goal settings or budgeting questions and things like that. So with that being said, we are going to introduce our presenting our partner and our Ms. Monet, and we are going to move right on into our presentation. So Ms. Myra, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Ms. Nia. Good afternoon. My name is Myra Hippolyte, and I work with the City of Houston Department of Neighborhoods under the direction of Director Takasha Francis. On behalf of Mayor Sylvester Turner and Director Takasha Francis, we want to welcome you all to the Month of Service program. The Month of Service program is all about that, giving back free information to the Houston community. Guys, know that the Month of Service partners are here for you. We're all as one team, one goal. Make sure that whenever you're going through a stressor, we want to make sure that you have all the information in front of you, that you can make whatever decision you need to. And by that, I mean that, when we just went through last year, Winter Storm Uri, we also went through, we're still going through COVID. We went through hurricanes, floodings, many different types of disasters, and we will go through many more. But when you're going through a type of stressor in your life, we want to make sure that you have all the information in front of you, or at least the numbers that you can call and say, wait a minute, okay, my home just flooded. What do I need to do? Step 1, 2, 3. Do I need to call an attorney? Do I need to call my insurance? Whatever I need to do, we want to make sure that whatever stressor you're going through, you have all the information in front of you. Guys, know that you're not alone. We're walking right by your side. And guess what? Of course, we can't hold your hands. So by that, we mean that we are walking right by your side and we're giving you the information, but it takes you to come to all the virtual workshops to learn and get educated in the process. Thanks, guys. You have a great evening and stay safe.
Okay, Ms. Monet.
Hi, my name is Monet Cheney, and I'm a financial coach with Family Houston. And so I do come in for the monthly service meeting to talk about different financial topics each month. And at the end of the presentation, I am going to go more into what financial coaching is and how Family Houston Financial Coaching Program can help you reach your financial goals. To get started, we will be talking about making a budget plans that works for you. And just our learning objectives for the presentation today is to identify the importance of using a budget to manage monthly spending, identify ways to successfully track daily spending, and create monthly spending plans. And we do like for you guys to be interactive. So please, if you have any information or things that you do that can help someone else that's watching this presentation, please feel free to share. If you have any questions that is general to what we're covering, please feel free to stop me to ask questions at any time. So let's talk about what a budget is and what it allows you to do. So a lot of times we're thinking budgeting means that we need to cut back, we need to sacrifice on something. We're spending too much money, or we don't have enough. But basically, what a budget allows you to do is understand where your money is coming from and where it's going. And this is mainly focused on your cash flow. So any incoming cash flow and how are you spending that cash flow. And what it helps you do is to avoid overspending. So if you are someone who feels like you overspend, or you're just not aware of what your spending is, and maybe you're overdrafting your accounts, or maybe you have a new financial goal that you're wanting to work on, or maybe you just want to know where your money is going. It helps you know where that money is coming from, where it's going. It helps you avoid from overspending. So it keeps you from spending more than what you're actually bringing in. And then again, if you're working on a financial goal, such as savings, or you're trying to invest to build wealth, then it allows you to find money within your current income to apply to savings or investing, or it helps you determine if you need to increase income or decrease spending. So again, just to expand more on what a budget is just a plan to manage your money by monitoring your income and tracking your expenses. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cut back on anything. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to bring more income in. It just means that you are monitoring how you're spending your money and where all of your income is coming from, because it's just good to know. And then also, like I said, if there is a financial crisis, or if there's something that's, if there's a new expense that you're planning on having a budget helps you understand if or what can be cut back, as well as if certain like new expenses can fit into your current budget plan, or do you need to make changes? So what do we consider income? So income is any money you receive. So basically any cash flow that you receive, or any money that you receive that can be used towards expenses in your budget plan. So, you know, you have your wage and salary from work, or any like side jobs or hobbies that you're doing. You have public benefits, so SNAP, TANF, housing. Those are considered income because those are funds that can be used towards an expense that you have. Your Social Security, retirement income, child support income, and then other income. So as a coach, when I'm working with my client and we're doing an accurate budget plan, things that fall into other income can be like if you return something to a store and now you got that cash flow back in your budget. So you return something back to Walmart, now you have $50 in your bank. So that would be considered part of, that could be considered income. Or it could be cash gifts or gift cards from family and friends, especially during the holidays or birthdays. And then maybe someone is paying you back for something that you paid for. So anytime there's incoming cash flow or money that's coming into your hand, whether it's cash or is being deposited into your bank account, you would count that as income. Oh, as well as interest payments. So like if you have a savings and you have an interest payment, or I've seen some checking accounts that get interest payments. So anytime you have cash flow coming into your account, if it don't fit into a regular category, you'll just create a category. I also have some clients who might put a rollover balance from their previous, for the previous month, because that's extra income that they have for the next month. So what are considered expenses in your budget? And so again, expenses is how you use your income. So anytime cash leave your hands, whether it's paper cash or you're using your debit card, then you're gonna find a category to put that expense in. And so your typical categories are, you have your home expenses, so rent, utilities, or renter's insurance, so any expenses that applies to your dwelling. And then there's healthcare expenses. So this is any expenses that pertains to your health. So prescription, doctor visits, health insurance, life insurance, gym memberships, whatever pertains to your health or anyone in your family's health. And then there's transportation. So anything that pertains to you getting around. So public transportation, Uber, Lyft, if car note, auto insurance, gas, maintenance, those type of expenses. Your daily living, of course, is gonna be, things you do from day to day. So groceries, personal household supplies, shopping, eating out, laundry, salon. So anything that kind of falls into like your day-to-day living expenses. And then there's an entertainment expenses, so anything that you deem as entertainment. And then of course your savings. So, and that could be different types of saving. It could be investment saving, retirement, just your personal put and take, emergency savings. Debts and obligations is anybody you owe money to. So personal loans, your credit cards, student loans, IRS, child support payments, so any obligations that you have. And then there are miscellaneous expenses. So those are going to be expenses that don't fit into the main categories, so or things that don't happen on a regular basis, or they could be monthly expenses that just don't fall into the regular categories. And again, when it comes to your budget, when it comes to income and expenses, it's up to you how you want to categorize those expenses and how you want them to show on your budget sheet. So when it comes to coaching and we're going over a client's budget with them, and they ask me, well, where should I put this expense? And I just tell them, you tell me, because this is your budget. And how you categorize things in your budget also kind of comes into play how you prioritize them as well. So whenever you create your budget, you want to make sure that you're creating a budget, putting things in categories that work for you and your understanding of how you spend your money. And when it does come to expenses, it's best to track every single penny. So make sure you find a purpose for every penny in your budget, because you want to make sure that nothing is going uncounted. So you can be fully aware of where your money is coming from and where it's going. Is there any questions before I move on?
There aren't
And
any
feel-
questions there aren't any
Okay.
questions in the chat, but if anybody does have any questions, please feel free to chime in.
Okay. So how do we develop a budget? Developing a budget, it sounds pretty simple, but it can sometimes be hard and tedious. But the main things that you need to develop a budget is all of your monthly income. So calculate all monthly income that you have coming in. Ways to calculate that income can be, if it's from work or working, it could be paycheck stubs. Or I know some companies have where you can go online and see your pay. It can be your bank statements is the best option, because you can see all your incoming deposits for the month and calculate those deposits. If you're receiving cash income, then you're going to have to track that income some other way. So either writing it down, or there's some jobs that receive cash income and you might have like a receipt book where you keep track of any services that you provide and you receive cash from your customers. Or you can use a spreadsheet to track your cash income, or a notebook. So just making sure that you're tracking all your income and you're able to calculate your total monthly income. And then next is tracking your daily spending. So again, if you're using a bank account, it's pretty easy because all of your spending is there in your transaction history. So you're able to see all your spending and track your spending on a daily basis by checking your bank accounts or receiving alerts from your bank. If you are using cash, then of course the tracking can be a little bit more tedious, because now you either have to save all your receipts and then use your receipts to have that information for your budget, or you'll have to write down your spending. So daily, every time that cash leaves your hands, then you're writing that expense down. So if you go to Walmart and you spend $50 at Walmart on groceries, so you're going to write down that you paid $50 in cash at Walmart for groceries. So then when you go back to do your monthly budget, then you'll have all of your spending, what that money was spent on and where it was spent. So you're able to put that spending into different categories. And then lastly, you're going to determine how much you're going to spend on monthly bills. So these are your reoccurring monthly bills that either fluctuate or they stay the same. So usually keeping track of these bills is pretty easy, because you have your bill statements, or you can track them like through those the different company apps, whoever those bills are coming from. So it's pretty much easy to keep track of your monthly bills. I would definitely say when you are developing your budget and you're gathering this information, is just making sure that you look at your bill statements every month. Even if you have auto pay set up, just make sure that you're checking your bills every month, and what you're paying on your recurring monthly bills is what you want to pay. Sometimes you might have fees added, and if you're not looking at those bill statements, you might overlook it, especially if your monthly bills are set up as an auto pay, especially with utilities. And then in some cases, utilities might change. Maybe you're on a special plan, such as like internet, you pay a certain amount for a certain number of months, and you have it set up as auto pay. But if you're not checking that monthly bill, then at some point it's going to switch over to what the normal monthly payment is. So just making sure that you're looking at your bill statements each month when you're doing your budget, just in case you need to make adjustments to your monthly bills. So just to go a little bit more into tracking your daily spending and why it's important, because it helps you understand if you are using your money in line with your values and your goals, as well as uncover where you can make changes, and it can help you spend less money. So I have a little example of Anthony's day-to-day spending. And so Anthony, he's writing down his spending. He's keeping track of how much he's spending on a daily basis. So at some point, Anthony can say, you know what, I don't spend too much money at All Beans Coffee. So for the rest of the month, I'm going to make coffee at home. And I see like a donut shop. So Anthony can say, I don't spend too much money eating out for breakfast. And instead of eating out for breakfast, then I'm going to cook breakfast at home. I'm going to make coffee at home to save for the rest of the month. Or Anthony could have felt like he ate out too much for dinner, because we see that he charged dinner twice this month. So again, that means that there wasn't enough cash-wise to cover dinner. So Anthony might say, okay, I've been tracking my spending on credit and my cash spending, and I've spent too much on eating out, so I'm going to take a step back. So when you are doing a daily tracking, or you're checking your bank statements on a daily basis, or what I like to do, my bank, it sends me an email every day of my pending transactions or transactions that have posted. And it's just so I'm aware of what I'm spending, how much I have left in my account, because you don't want to overdraft your account. As well as, like I said, if you feel like you have a certain goal amount that you want to spend in different categories in your budget, then you can say, okay, well, I done ate out too much. I reached my budget for eating out, so I'm going to step back. Or I've shopped too much for this month. I'm going to take a step back so I can put more money towards my goal that I'm working on, or so I can have a bigger disposable income at the end of the month. So good tracking, it just helps you know what's going on with your account to make sure that you're not overdrafting. So you're always aware of what your balances are, as well as it helps with fraud as well. Because if you're not checking your account on a regular basis, then you might never know that someone used your account. Because I actually had this happen where somebody somehow got my debit card number and they bought gas in California. So if I wasn't checking my account on a regular basis, I wouldn't have seen that and wouldn't have been able to catch it in time to call and let my bank know what was going on. So not only is it good to understand if you're using your money in line with your values and goals, but it can also help with any type of fraud charges on your account, or if there's any charges that come out twice. So anytime there's any errors in your bank account, it helps you recognize those right away and be able to contact your bank and make those changes. As far as with cash, it just helps you better track your cash spending as well, to make sure that you're not overspending in your cash. And one more thing I want to add with tracking, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's called the envelope system, which is a way to not only track your cash spending, but as well as it helps you budget your cash a lot better if you're someone who prefers to spend cash, because you have an envelope for each category in your budget. So you only have a set amount of money or cash to go into each of those envelopes. So then anytime you spend cash, then you're going to replace that cash with your receipt. And then outside of your envelope, you can write what that expense was for, the date that it was done on, and then subtract it from whatever your total amount that you had in that envelope. So that's another way to help you track if you're spending cash or prefer to use cash. So next, once you have gathered all the information that you need for your budget, then you're going to create the budget or the spending plan, which includes 3 sections. It's going to be your net income. So your net income is any take-home income. So when it comes to work, your net income is going to be the income after all taxes and whatever other like insurances and things have come out of your pay. Then it's going to be the amount that you take home, or the amount that's deposited into your bank account. And then any other income that you receive that month. And then your expenses are going to be all spending that you have done, regardless of what it is, big or small. Even if it was 50 cents, it's going to be all your spending for the month. And then the comparison is your monthly net. So that's going to be your net income minus your expenses is going to be your monthly net, or your disposable income. So that's how much you have left over within that month. So just continuing with how to create a spending plan. So I put a little example of what a typical budget sheet looks like. And this can look however you want it to look, but they pretty much are the same categories. So whenever you're creating a spending plan, you're going to start with your current income and current expenses. And then you're going to put whatever changes you want to make or need to make. And then you'll create your new budget plan for the next month based on the information from the previous month. So if you see here, there's a section where it says current income, current expenses. So we are at the beginning of March. So that current income and current expenses will basically be February's income and spending. Excuse me. And if you feel like you need to, there's going to be some changes for March, then you're going to put what changes you want to make for March. So whether there's some extra income that you're expecting, there's some extra expenses that you're expecting, or maybe there was expenses in February that you don't expect to have in March. So you're going to show what those changes are, and then you're going to create your March budget based on what you are expecting to do in March. So how much income you are expecting to receive in March, and then what you're spending, what you're expecting your spending to be for March. Of course, there's going to be some income and spending that's going to be the same. So that's your reoccurring spending. And then things that fluctuate from month to month, then you can make a decision on whether that's going to be more or less for the next month. So for example, groceries, typically we probably spend the same amount of money on groceries each month. Because we are creatures of habit. So we probably tend to eat and grocery shop the same way every single month. So you might end up spending about the same amount of money on groceries each month based on the things that you typically buy from the grocery store or your normal shopping habits, grocery shopping habits. Now, there could be a month where it's someone's birthday and you need to spend a little bit more on groceries because now you're going to host a party. So then you're going to up that grocery bill a little bit for that month because you have to buy extra food for a particular event that you're having that month. Or you might decide and say, you know what, we've been spending too much money on groceries. We can afford to cut back. So you might decide, okay, in March, I'm going to cut back. And instead of spending $200 on groceries, I'm going to spend $150. So when you are making these budget plans, you're going to always, like I said, base the new month on how you spent the last month and what you have planned to happen in that new month. And creating the budget plan and as well as going over your spending for the previous month, it helps you understand if you need to make changes, as well as if you have new financial goals or new expenses that's going to start happening, then you know how those new expenses or how those financial goals is going to fit into your budget. As well as this allows you to be accountable for how you spend. And again, doing this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to cut back. This is just a way to know and understand what you have coming in each month and where it's going. So again, I talked about the monthly net income, so how much you have left over at the end of the month. So when it comes to disposable income, 3 things can happen. The first thing is you can break even. So this is where people are saying, you know, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So you're basically spending exactly what you bring home in income, and your expenses are breaking evens, and there's no rollover to the next month. There's no income rolling over to the next month. The next thing is positive. So that means you have more income than expenses. So that's where you're going to have a rollover in income to the next month that you can use. And then a negative is when your expenses is more than your income. So this is where you're in the red. So this is where you could possibly see that someone may be overdrafted in their account, or what it could be like if you, in that given month, you could be negative, but if a previous month you were positive and that money were rolling over, you might not see that you're negative. But what could happen eventually, that positive or that extra income can eventually run out. So when you're thinking about your disposable income, I like to tell my clients to think about what your disposable income within a given month, and don't include income that has rolled over, because that's how you know whether or not your spending and income is stable, because that will also help you from possibly overdrafting in the future. So if you're looking at just your income and spending for just that 1 month, not including any rollover income, if you are negative, then that's where you're gonna have to start considering like what are things you can sacrifice or things that you can cut back on. What are other ways, like maybe if you're not using coupons, or maybe if you're not using different options that can save you money, then you might be considering different ways and different strategies that you can save money. But the goal is to always be positive in income within a given month. Do we have any questions? I know I don't think there's anything in the chat. But is there any, do anybody have any questions that they want to ask, or anything that they want to add that they've done as far as like keeping track of their spending?
No comments in the chat.
Well, may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you mind speaking a little bit more on some of the details of disposable income?
Yes, so is there any particular details you would like for me to go over?
Just simply, if I didn't know what disposable income was, then how would I determine what that is?
Okay, so yeah, so basically the disposable income is once you add up all of your income from the month, and then you subtract your expenses, the total amount in expenses from your income. So it's how much, it'll be how much you have left over at the end of the month.
Thank you.
And so then they'll let you know, like, usually with the disposable income, it'll let you know if you have room to spend more, or like I said, if you're gonna break even, so it just evens out to zero, or you're negative for the month. There's different tools you can use to determine your disposable income. Or, your disposable income can also be whatever your remaining balance in your checking account at the end of the month, before the new month starts. If you're using a budgeting tool, like in coaching, I use a spreadsheet to do my clients' budget. So it calculates everything for us. And then it lets me know, like, okay, in this month, you had $300 left over, or you went over X amount of dollars this month. So then we'll discuss, like, okay, well, what happened this month that you went over? And, my client said, well, in my bank account, I'm not negative. So then we'll discuss, okay, well, what's the difference between this budget sheet and your bank account? So it can either help us figure out like whether or not numbers we put in was accurate, or like I said, sometimes we might have months where we get extra money, and that money rolls over from month to month. Like right now is tax season. So some of us are getting tax refunds. So then that's an extra income that is possibly going into your checking account. So, that income can like roll over. Like if you're not spending it all at one time, it can keep rolling over from month to month. And it can make your balance in your checking account look higher than what your actual disposable income is within the given month. And so again, that's just totaling like what your total income was for the month, and then subtracting your expenses for that month, and then how much money you have left over. And then there's other ways to determine. There are different budgeting tools that you can use. Like I said, I like to use spreadsheets. There's budgeting apps that are available, either for free or like a small fee that you can use to determine, like, to do all of this for you. as well as like websites like mint.com that can also calculate your disposable income for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what are some best practices when it comes to creating a budget and just sticking to a budget plan on a month-to-month basis? So first is completing a budget spreadsheet using your bank statement or transaction history. So again, like I said, with coaching, we like to use Excel or Google Sheets, spreadsheets, to create a budget or spending plan for you. If you don't know how to use spreadsheets, or you don't like using spreadsheets, there's other options. Like I said, there's apps that you can put on your phone that you can use to create a budget plan. Some of them actually connect to your bank account. And so that all that data from all your spending and your income from your bank account is actually filtered into the app to create those budget spreadsheets for you. Or you have websites like mint.com that does the same thing. It connects to your bank account and it creates the budget spreadsheet and a budget plan for you based on the information that's coming from your bank account. As well as some banks have a budgeting tool as well. So you can check with your bank and see if they have a budgeting tool, but within like your online banking or your mobile banking app, your bank will actually take that information from your transaction history and put it into a budget plan or a budget spreadsheet for you. If you are using mostly cash to track your spending, again, like I said earlier, you can track your spending by saving your receipts, writing down your spending at the time of the transaction, and then using your monthly bill statements for those monthly reoccurring bills. I don't know if you all remember checkbook registers, but a checkbook register is a great option to use to track your cash, because if you're a lady, you carry a purse, it could easily fit in your purse. There's always other one that's like small enough that can fit in a wallet for men, so something you can slide into your wallet, and then while you're at the moment of the transaction, or at that moment that cash is leaving your hand, that you can write down what you just spent and where, and the date. Or you can, save all your receipts, and then each week record those receipts into a tracker, or daily record your receipts into a tracker. So yes, if you're using mostly cash, find a way that works best for you to track all of that spending, so you can have an accurate idea of how you're spending your cash. When it comes to when to do your budget, pick one day of the month, preferably the first or last day of the month, to go over your spending for the last month and create a plan for the upcoming month. So again, we're like the second day of March. So the 28th, the 1st, today, or just this week in general, is a good time to create a budget plan for March based on how you spend for February. So you can sit down, look at everything you did in February, and then decide on how you want to spend for March. And to make things a little bit easier, so you're not doing it all at one time, is do weekly check-ins to see if you're sticking to your plan and make adjustments as needed. So again, I like to throw in things I do with my financial coaching clients. So one thing I offer to my coaching clients is I have a monthly budget sheet that has a weekly tracker on it. So the ones that are doing budget plans every month, they can track certain spending weekly. So eating out, shopping, groceries, things that's gonna fluctuate from month to month. They can use the weekly tracker to track that spending on a weekly basis. So they'll know if they need to make any adjustments to their spending. And then when they get to the end of the month or the first day of the next month, they already have the majority of that spending already ready to go to put in the monthly part of the budget. So it makes it a lot easier. Of course, I'm going to say doing a budget plan and putting it into practice on a monthly basis, even on a daily, weekly basis, it can be tedious. And it is like some extra time that you have to carve into your schedule. Because I know as adults, we're all busy. And it's like, okay, I got one more thing I got to do. But doing this is very important, especially if you have a particular goal that you're working on. So you'll know like how likely it is for you to do that goal. And again, once you start putting these things into practice, it's going to become second nature to you. And the more you do it, the faster you're going to get at doing it, because there's always going to be a way to make it a lot easier and more efficient and faster to do. So then it just becomes second nature and it becomes part of your normal routine to do this. But of course, getting started and putting these things into practice could be a little bit tedious, a little time consuming, but once you start doing it on a regular basis, the faster you'll get at it and the easier it will be for you to do it. So is there any questions? Because we're nearing the end. Is there any like budgeting practices that anyone in the class is currently doing or tried that have worked for you?
Everybody's quiet. I have to give a little pop quiz. Okay, we can just continue.
But I believe this is going to be my first time trying to do the budget.
Oh, well, good. Good for you. I use it. Someone says I use a budget planner to track spending.
Oh, so like, is it kind of like a book planner? And then I see someone said they use the envelope system. Yeah, so the cash envelope system is a great way to budget and track your spending as well. Even if you're using your checking account for all your spending, you can use the envelope system to keep track of certain categories. Like you could track your receipts in the envelopes if you're trying to keep from overspending in different categories. As well as the budget planners. The budget planner, if I'm correct, it's like a little book that you can purchase. I've seen them at the dollar store. I've seen them at Walmart. Of course, they all over Amazon got different options. So if you're someone that loves to write things down, Budget planning books are like a great way or a great tool to use, because not only do they have like the monthly calendar that you can use to like track your bill payments or track like when certain expenses or even events and stuff that's going to happen that you got to pay for. And you could track things on a monthly calendar in the budget planner. Then they have your daily spending, as well as the monthly like budget plan part, and what your actual spending was for the plan. And then along with that, some of them give you like questions to answer. So when it comes to like your money mindsets or your money goals, like some of the budget planners, they actually have like questions that you can answer, like what are my goals for this month, or what is my goals for the year. So they have like different questions that you can answer that can help you understand a little bit better what your money mindsets are, what your goals are for the month, as well as if you're sticking to your plans and your goals. Someone said automatic withdrawals into savings account every month. So yes, when it comes to like your savings, making sure that your savings fits into your budget plan as well. And so setting up those reoccurring withdrawals into savings will help you save more, as well as you putting that savings first. So that is something to make sure that you have in your budget plan as a category is savings. Because I do hear a lot where people say, well, I can't save. But when I look at their budget, there's room to save, but they just don't have that line item in their budget to save. So when you put that line item in, or have that savings category, and you put it as part of your budget plan, and then you set up the automatic withdrawal, then that's also guaranteeing that not only is savings becoming a priority, but you're making sure that that savings is fitting in with all of your other spending for the month. Anything else to add? Okay. So just a takeaway message is it's your money. Don't let anyone but you decide what to do with it. Get in control by budgeting and tracking, and then start saving as soon as you can. So when it comes to coaching, one of the things I tell my clients, it's your money. You can do whatever you want with your money, as long as you're paying attention to what you are doing, and you're giving your money purpose. So basically, having the budget plan is a way to give every dollar purpose and know where it's going. So again, if you do need to make changes, you can make changes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make changes. It just means that you are controlling how your money is spent, and you are aware of where all your money is going. So someone in the chat said, would you be able to provide us with a budget template that includes the weekly check-ins? Yes, I can provide that. Nia just she'll have to let me know how to provide that to you guys.
If you have an Excel or a PDF, just send it to me. Otherwise, I can send one out and just attach it to when I send out the recording of this session to everyone. I can include it with the recording.
Oh yes, I can send that to you.
Okay.
So before we leave, I do want to go into what financial coaching is at Family Houston. So basically what we do as financial coaches is we don't do the work for you, but we basically coach you through whatever financial goal that you're wanting to work on. So we help you gather the information you need. So we help you with, we go over your budget, we review your credit history, and then we discuss what actions that you're needing to take based on that information to reach the financial goal that you're wanting to reach. We provide you tools and resources that can be helpful to you to reach that goal. And then we follow up with you on a monthly basis to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you are wanting and needing to do to reach your financial goal. Listed here are just some goals that we do help with. So like I said before, I have clients where we do their budget every single month. We go over their budget on a monthly basis. And so these are clients that have particular goals that they were working on. And so either they're wanting to just know their budget each month, or they're trying to cut back and save more. We do help with getting out of debt. So if you feel like you're wanting to pay off credit card debts, or you have like a loan that you want to pay off sooner than later, then you can work with us on like a debt repayment plan. And then again, we are here to hold you accountable each month that you are putting that plan into action. We can help with increasing your credit score. So with the credit review, it's just letting you know ways that you can increase your score through different credit builders, or even with accounts that you are already currently using. And then we can help you with building savings. So just creating a saving goal and, you know, being able to pay yourself first, and just check it in with you to make sure that you are putting money into your savings and you're maintaining that savings. And then if you are preparing to buy a house or a car, then we are here to, you know, help you build that savings for those big purchases, as well as get credit ready for those purchases, and then seeing how those purchases fit into your budget. Because of course, buying a house, buying a car, that's a new expense, as well as other new expenses that you're gonna have that's going to be added to your budget. So we can discuss like how those things will fit into your monthly budget. And here is my contact information. So if you're wanting to speak with me to schedule an appointment, you can contact me at 832-987-2023. If you're wanting to meet with the first available financial coach, there is 3 of us available at our central location. And then we have 1 coach over in the Clear Lake area. And you can contact Family Houston Mainline at 713-861-4849 if you wish to meet with the first available coach. And then you can email me to schedule or for more information at mcheney@familyhouston.org.
Okay. Are there any questions or any other details that anyone needs Ms. Monet to go over before we wrap up? Well, one thing I'd like to add is for people to understand that budgeting is not a bad word. Like you started out in the beginning of the presentation, budgeting is just a tool to kind of help you with attaining and reaching whatever financial goal that you may have. It just a tracker, basically. It doesn't mean that you need to starve yourself. Doesn't mean you need to, not go and get your hair done and your nails done or what have you. But just trying to figure out ways that you could cut back to try to save or make whatever changes is that you want to have. So, you know, we get into this unconscious habit of just spending or swiping a card or, you know, things like that. And before you know it, you're spending a whole lot more money than what you actually had intended to do. So, and different methods work for different people. There isn't one surefire way to help with everything. Some people do better with spending cash. Some people do better with using a card or using one particular card. Some people use the envelope system versus somebody that likes to just automatically transfer. Me, I had to open up a bank account on the other side of town that I know there's only that one branch and I don't have an ATM card for it. So I know if I need to go and get money, I have to go all the way over there to go and get it during bank hours to make sure that I can get access to that money. Otherwise, you know, I know that I probably would have, you know, did a transfer or, you know, went and used it with the card or something like that. But that works for me. So everybody has different methods that helps them with their budget and with their savings plan. But just start where you are. To me, budgeting is like a diet, or you know how people tend to kind of look at a diet. You set these big old goals and big expectations. I'm going to lose 100 pounds in the next 60 days. And you know good and well that is not going to happen, especially if it took you 10 years to gain 100 pounds. It's going to take a little bit of time to get you to where it is that you need. So think about it the same way. Start out with small goals, you know, small, you know, things, and then kind of work your way up. So you, instead of you know, going to Starbucks, you know,
Okay,
I'm not going to mention any names. I'm
no.
not mentioning names. But it's only the guilty will speak. But even if you have to, you know, just cut back one day a week as opposed to going 5 days a week, and you know, and what you would spend at Starbucks, let that be the start of your savings. So if you know you could save $10 a week, that's $40 a month that you didn't save before. So it helps, you know, every little bit does help. Someone did ask or put in the comment that they are interested in trying to get out of payday loan prices due to COVID. I definitely encourage you to reach out to Ms. Cheney with her contact information. I will also include it again in the email when I send out a copy of the recording to everyone, along with that budget sheet. So if you guys do have any questions about you know, how to reach out to her, I'll definitely include that information. Someone says my automatic payments go to the bank, so I don't have easy access to it. That's a good idea too. That works. So
Yeah.
but
I'm the
Oh, no,
queen of
Nia.
having separate savings accounts. So I have different savings accounts for different purposes. And my money the savings that I don't want to touch and I want to maintain is always in the most inconvenient bank possible.
yep.
And it's always good to have that little savings attached to your checking account, just in case something happens. You just never know. Something might happen where you might overdraft again. That's why if you're not checking on a daily basis, it's good to have one attached, just a little bit of money in there to cover maybe some overdrafts, but anything you want to maintain should be at a different bank. And it should be very inconvenient to get to that money.
Yeah. And it helps with being prepared for those emergency situations. You know, having to hurry up and plan for that one vacation, or you know, somebody's got a birthday that's coming up that you got to throw this big party, is not an emergency. You know, you know the refrigerator's going to break down, the washing machine's going to stop working, the car's going to get a flat tire. It's those kind of things that you have to have that emergency fund for, that people really need to think about. So we certainly don't want to see anybody, and we know that people have gone through this financial downfall since, or you know, going through financial difficulties because of COVID, and are still experiencing troubles because of COVID, and trying to maintain and get on their feet. We know a lot of businesses did not snap back, and weren't able to you know, have people, you know, thank the Lord that we were able to be, you know, blessed with working from home. We had that opportunity, but a lot of people did not. So we know that there are still a lot of difficulties that people are going through, and we are here to try to assist in any way that we can to help people get back on their feet, and know that there is an option that there are ways to help with savings and budgets. And budget is not a bad word. I just want people to know that. One thing also that we used to do, or that we still do, that we have, if anybody is interested, we have what we do is what we call a 30-day bag challenge. It's a Ziploc bag that we have instructions on how to complete the challenge. Basically, what you do is put all of your receipts for every bill, every coffee, every McDonald's, whatever it is that you spend, every receipt goes into that bag for the next 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, take all of that out and add it up and see how much money you've actually spent in a month. Because some people really just don't know how much they actually spend in a given month. They just know that they don't have enough, but they don't really recognize or acknowledge how much money that they're actually spending, because again, it becomes so easy to just swipe a card, or, you know, take 20 here and take 20 there, or take 10 here, you know. So just to become conscious and aware. And after that 30 days, and you figure out, okay, I know I eat too much. Let me figure out how can I cut back, or where can I cut back? Instead of me, you know, going out to eat for lunch, let me, you know, take a bag lunch and save that money. And then figuring out, okay, now that I've created this savings, what do I want to do with it? What's the goal? You know, what do I want to do? Do I want to save for vacation? Do I want to save for Christmas? Do I want to start that emergency fund? Do I want to save for a car, or to buy a home, or pay down some debts? Figuring those things out. And that's where the coaching actually comes into play. So again, definitely reach out to Family Services. Their services are free. There are some people that, you know, don't have the patience or the time to sit and do things on their own, and they really rather pay somebody to do a lot of things for them. If that becomes easier for you, you know, as long as it gets done, you know, one way is, again, it's not a right way or a wrong way, as long as it actually gets done. So with that being said, thank you guys for all joining us this evening. Ms. Monet, thank you for taking the time out once again this month. And we ask you guys to come back and join us next month on Wednesday, April the 6th, for Understanding Credit, how it works and how to improve your score. So definitely feel free to come back and join us for that. Miss Cynthia, I see your name here. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
I was going to tell her hello, Miss Cynthia.
Yeah, Miss Stephanie, thank you for your comments in the chat, and please reach out to Miss Cheney. Miss Kim, thank you for your questions and everything too. And I see Miss iPhone. I don't know who Miss iPhone is, but hello, how are you today? We can't see your name there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must didn't put it in. I'm Octavia.
Oh, hi, Miss Octavia. How are you?
I'm doing
We
good.
used to do these sessions in person so we could see people's faces, but now everybody's just a name or an ID number or something like that. So we can't see anybody anymore. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Did you have a question?
Oh, no. I got everything. My only question was trying to get the template so I can get a little head start.
Yep, I will definitely send that out to everyone. I'll do it in an Excel and in a PDF in case it's easier for somebody to just print out and write it down versus doing it on a computer or something like that. So I'll send both.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. With that being said, thank you guys very much for joining us, and join us again for other month of service workshops. They are all on our nrcdc.org website, and go there to get registered. For those that are interested, tomorrow we are having our legal advanced planning and why you need it. So if you know anybody, or if you yourselves have questions about wills or estate plans and what makes up an estate plan, and the importance of, definitely the importance of having to have one, even for those folks that don't think, oh, I don't have any money, I don't have anything. You do have some things, and in order for the people to actually get access to it that needs it in the untimely event that something does happen to you, whether it's incapacitated or a passing, you know, there are processes and steps that need to be taken into consideration, you know, in the event that does happen. So definitely please join us for that. And if you can't join, just register and we can send a link out to you so that you can actually go back and review it, because that is important information, especially when it comes to maintaining generational wealth. We know a lot of folks in a lot of different neighborhoods lose out on generational wealth due to the fact that people pass without a will, and they can't get the property transferred that's been paid for in their families for years to the person that they intended for it to go to. So don't let the costly expense of probate keep you from getting your parents or grandparents' homes that they want to keep in their family. So we encourage you to do that. We'll get off my soapbox real quick before I keep going on and on and on. So, that's a passion of mine, and I want to make sure that everybody gets that information. But Myra, thank you very much. Is there anything else, Tad?
No, we're good. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
All right. You all have a good
night.
evening.
It's
Have
a
a good
beautiful
day.
day right now.
Isn't it? I'm
Yes,
gonna go
it
ride my
is.
bike.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go outside in a bit.
All right.
I've
You
been
guys have a
inside
good
all
evening.
day.
I
Yeah, me
need to
too.
lose, some weight. Talking about the weight losing part.
Oh, I do weekly walks. My weekly walks are back. So
Oh, you know
I
what?
give
My
my
husband
friends, or I
does
go by
that.
myself.
Oh, I like this though.
He does that, and he's up to 4 miles a day. I'm like, I got to get there a little bit by
Yeah,
little.
okay. Well, I could do
Yeah.
3 miles unless I go to Buffalo Bayou and then I accidentally do 4 miles.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
sometimes you don't know where to turn around.
Yeah, and you know what? We saw that, and we were both saying, hey, you know what? On the weekend, we can come down to Buffalo Bayou and do some walking and just take a break and, stop and have a little snack.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. You can.
All right. All right.
Yes,
Thank
so
you
y'all have a
guys.
good night.
You too.
Yeah, we can get into our soap ops. Bye, guys.
Yes, bye.
Bye-bye.